You ever meet someone who exists in a way that just makes you irrationally angry? Like they're not technically doing anything illegal, but if they were to say disappear off the face of the earth, you would wake up the next day feeling like it's Christmas morning. Well, SpongeBob me Bob, you're in luck. Today, we're gonna have a Socratic seminar about some of these individuals, and by the end of this video, we're gonna know how not to piss off the world. People with zero social awareness. I absolutely cannot stand these idiots. It's difficult to explain how much I hate them without throwing myself into a pit of lava. But maybe describing a real life scenario might help get my point across. Let's say I'm at the grocery store and I'm going down an aisle to pick out some delicious double stuffed Oreos. I'm going down the right side of the aisle like any other normal American would because we don't rock with that British shit. Then all of a sudden, like running into a brick wall, I just stop. And why is that, you might ask? Some random dumbass is taking up the middle of the entire aisle like a fucking Snorlax blocking my way to Vermilion City. And I'm gonna let you know, ain't no Pokeflu helping you out in this situation. Is it really that hard to get a sense of your surroundings? I mean, unless you're Helen Keller, your answer should be no. The worst part about this all though, is that you can't even do anything. You literally just have to let this NPC wander around for God knows how long until they decide to move on and bother someone else. I just don't understand why you need that much time and space to decide whether you want the regular goldfish or the flavor blasted ones. I mean, if you need any help, I can just shove them up your ass. Also, I better not hear one of y'all say,
"Well, D-Man, why don't you just ask them to move?"
Hold on, partner, it's not that easy. One of two things will happen. Outcome number one, they literally just won't hear you or even comprehend your existence. You're quite simply irrelevant to this person's life, so any chance of them acknowledging you is out of the question.
Irrelevant!
Or outcome number two, they hit you with the coldest, most uncanny lead paint stare you've ever seen in your life. I mean, I'm already uncomfortable, so any opportunity to not deal with this demon is my safest bet. I mean, the last thing I want is their Medusa ass to turn me to stone. Maybe the only surefire way to deal with one of these people is to just fight fire with fire. You know, they're probably like mountain lions where all you gotta do is just act big and take up the space that they're occupying. That probably will work. Bathroom stall. We all know there are unwritten rules when it comes to using the public restroom, and these bathroom stalkers, well, they fail to adhere to them. For instance, us men know that when you're picking a urinal or a stall, you don't pick one that's right next to someone else. I'm not trying to get your pee and poo particles up my grill when I don't need them. That's only allowed for my subscribers. But this doesn't just apply to these weirdos, this goes to the people who disrespect the entire sacred space of the bathroom altogether. I remember when I was just a wee little kid in kindergarten, I had some of the most traumatic experiences ever when using the bathroom. I mean, you couldn't get one lick of privacy if you had to take a deuce. There would always be that one devious kid who wanted nothing more than to disturb your bathroom time. Whether it was looking under the stall, throwing toilet paper over the stall at you, or the worst of it all, returning back from the restroom after leaving during the middle of class. For some reason, this kid was horrible at doing any sort of math, except when it had to deal with calculating the difference in timing between a number 1 and a number 2. Oh, and he let everyone know too.
Guys, he was pooping. Hey, D-Man, why'd you take so long? You feeling alright?
Who the fuck are you, the Dookie detective? Meme parasites. These people have got to be some of the most laziest, unoriginal content creators I've ever witnessed. Have you ever just scrolled on TikTok and come across a creator where all they do is read off memes or tweets?
Sometimes I'm late because I sit like this for a really long time. Y'all ever drink an iced coffee so strong that for like 4 minutes you have home? Yes. What's your favorite thing to do? Me, sleep, obviously.
Like, God, what the fuck am I watching? It's like an NPC discovered what iFunny was, and then they try to give off a fake laugh to try to make them seem, real and relatable, but it's the most uncanny shit ever. I've actually wondered what these people do after they're done filming these videos. Like, do they genuinely think these memes are funny? Or do they read them, fake laugh, and then just sit there after like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I like to think it's the latter, because no sane person would ever sit down and make these videos. And this same thing goes for reaction channels as well, but not the ones you're thinking of. I'm talking about the ones with insanely low effort and no creativity at all. Now don't hate, but I was doom scrolling on TikTok the other day and I came across such an uncomfortable video.
I don't remember this.
What made you come around, Lois?
I don't know what's worse, the deafening silence as this guy watches Peter's ass get licked by a fucking horse, or the fact that 6.5 million people watched this video. What are we doing with our lives? If there was any sign that society was going backwards, I think this video would be it. People who are musty, dusty, and crusty. Did you know that Yu-Gi-Oh had to implement a rule for their tournaments because so many of their contestants absolutely stank? If there was a player who was too dirty or too smelly, they could be penalized or even kicked from the tournament. The question I'm asking is, how do you even get to this position in the first place? I mean, there are so many easy ways to prevent yourself from smelling. How hard is it to just slap on some deodorant or take a shower every once in a while? You really have to not give a fuck about your hygiene at all. Me personally, I'm the type of guy to take a shower every morning just so I can smell fresh and clean for the ladies. So when I hear people are going days, weeks, without showering, at some point this has gotta change. I can't keep going out in public and having a level 60 Garbodor fucking up my nostrils. I think the best plan of action is to tell the people that stink that, you know, they stink.
Hey buddy, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I just want you to know that it's pretty smelly over here and it's been stinky for about the last 10 minutes.
And I'm not even trying to be mean either. There used to be a guy at my work that I could smell probably 10 to 20 feet away from him. I promise you, I tried my hardest to stay away from this guy, but he somehow kept running into me. Now imagine how much better his life and my life would have been if I was just straight up with him and told him that he smelled. Maybe by telling him he smelled, he would clean up a bit and that Mewtwo baddie he's been chatting with would give him that chance. And y'all know what I'm talking about by Mewtwo baddie. Now if you don't want to be direct with them because you know you might hurt their feelings or something, you could drop some subtle hints as well. You know, if you're scrolling on TikTok and see some Jeremy Fragrance videos, you could repost them and just send them onto their For You page.
It's the dildo of the fragrance industry.
Or if it's the holiday season, you know, give my man some cologne or something. Hey, maybe that new Jake Paul body spray. But it's not just people with a foul odor that bother me. This goes out to all the folks that live in absolute filth. I mean, we all know that one guy whose car and bedroom are just filled to the brim with waste to where they could probably pollute an entire ocean. Look, I'm a lazy guy and I'll leave my trash around I'll leave some trash around ever so often, but there's only so much that I can leave out before, you know, I gotta clean up. I can't be having a whole rat family living rent-free in my room. Now, one of the worst cases I've ever seen is from the streamer Asmongold. I mean, just take one glimpse into that man's room.
That's nasty.
Bro makes so much money, but for some reason he can't get a maid. I mean, you probably gotta throw on a hazmat suit if you want to enter that room, or else you're gonna burn up into a crisp. All I'm saying is you're gonna leave that room looking like Gus. Terrible drivers. I feel like every time I'm on the road, I just have to deal with a shitty ass driver. It always leaves me questioning how so many people have driver licenses to begin with. Do they really just have a terrible driving instructor? Or does their memory of any decent driving they had get Men in Black wiped the second they passed their driver's test? Like, I know way too many people that I contemplate riding with just because of how bad of a driver they are. Either they can't stay in their lane, they turn on the streets at like 50 miles per hour, or they speed like they're in the Fast and the Furious. There could be a Sharknado and swords falling out of the sky, and I think I would still prefer to walk home, because I have a better shot at surviving that than riding with them. But it doesn't stop there. Whenever I'm driving at night, why is there always that one lifted truck fucker who always has their high beams on the max they could be, and they just blind everyone in their path? One moment I'm vibing on my late night drive, and the next it's like I got thrown into fucking LASIK eye surgery. I truly think the root of my astigmatism is from these small ween drivers. Oh, and don't even get me started on the people that go 15 miles under the speed limit. And for some reason they're always driving under in the the passing lane. I'm gonna be honest, I'm always running late for work, so when I get stuck behind one of these idiots, it makes me want to do nothing more than unleash my nine-tailed fox and crash the fuck out. The worst part is when I'm trying to pass them in the right lane and someone's going just as slow in the right lane. And then on top of that, there's probably a high beam fucker right behind me ready to blind me as well. He's probably sitting back there behind me like, hello, governor. Young professional athletes. If you ever want to feel depressed and ashamed about your life, just turn on some sports. There's a solid chance you'll come across a couple athletes who aren't even old enough to drink yet, but they're set for life because of their athletic abilities. You could be chilling, watching some football on the weekend, and the next thing you see is Ryan Williams, a 17-year-old starting wide receiver for the University of Alabama, catching bombs and ending up on SportsCenter. This kid was like 10 years old when Fortnite came out. And yes, I said kid, because I'm older than this dude, but to be honest, this guy looks way older than me. I mean, this guy is winning at life in every way possible. And what am I doing? I'm making a video D1 hating on this guy just because he's a dog. What's worse is he's just the tip of the iceberg. You got 16-year-old Quincy Wilson winning a gold medal at the Olympics, 17-year-old Lamine Yamal starting not only for Barcelona, but for Spain's national team. You got baby Grom. Whoa, let's not get carried away. My bad. But you see my point? These guys are winning at life and flexing on me when all I want to do is watch sports and stuff my face with some junk food, man. Let a brother have something to be proud of. Come on, man. Corporate villains. This was made before, the United Healthcare assassination, so bear with me. The most evil, corrupt people on the planet. When are we gonna realize that all these CEOs and companies want is to fill their pockets and fuck all of us over? They try to act like they want what's best for us, but it's all just a ploy. It's actually comical at how much they price gouge us just to earn an extra few million for them and their shareholders' net worths. And there's one guy in particular that just grinds my gears the most. Brian Nickel. God, I mean, look at this dude. You wanna call me uncanny? This guy is like the ultimate boss. Now, Brian is the current CEO of Starbucks, but he used to be the CEO of Chipotle, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Remember when everybody was boycotting Chipotle and recording their orders because of their portion sizes? You know what Brian decided to say about that?
First, I can tell you the portions have not gotten smaller. One of the things I think it's great about Chipotle is if you come into the restaurant and you want a little more rice or you want a little more pico, all you gotta do is kind of like...
Clearly, this guy has never eaten at Chipotle because every time I try to ask for a double chicken, they always charge me. Next thing you know, I'm leaving Chipotle with a job application in my bag because of how much they charged me. But it's not just Brian Nickel who's a problem, it's all of these people. I just want to touch on Jeff Bezos for a moment. Look, Amazon is great, don't get me wrong, but I just gotta share this clip with y'all. Mr. Bezos here was visiting one of his warehouses when one of the employees, walked up and started talking to him, but this employee wasn't just there for a conversation. He was glazing this dude.
I'll tell you now, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, United Technologies, I worked for all three for more than 10 years. It's the best company I ever worked for.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to tell me that.
I will. This will be my last job.
All right.
I don't have to look anymore anywhere.
Thank you. That's so nice.
You ain't slick, my boy. I know you trying to get a raise or promotion. I see you. But do you really think that Jeff Bezos gives two fucks about what you want? He's probably wiping his ass with Benjamin Franklin's as I'm making this video. Like, I respect the effort, but that is a shot you should not be taking.
What kind of shot is that? Have you ever shot that shot? Do you work on that shot?
Now, if you disagree with any of these, or if you are one of these people, it's best you go ahead and take a good, hard look in the mirror. Give yourself a strong whiff in the armpit. Because if I catch one of y'all with doo-doo streaks and rats living in your hair, I'm personally unloading an entire can of Febreze on your ass. I can't be having my entire community stanking up the comment section. We gotta hold ourselves to some high standards here, boys. Now, if you excuse me, the newest episode of Talk To It just dropped, and I gotta go buy me some more hot coin, baby.